some of the recent news surrounding this center and other centers like it across our country. So the President's administration has set its sights on stopping the good work that's underway at this Job Corps Center and other Job Corps sites all across the U.S. Now, a judge in New York recently offered a temporary reprieve, but even with that, the future of Job Corps sites here and elsewhere, they are still endangered. I don't believe that that should be the case. I don't think that anyone here thinks that that should be the case. For many vulnerable and challenged young people, Job Corps means hope. Job Corps means opportunity. It's a chance to get their lives on sound footing for a more structured life and better access to good-paying job opportunities as well. So with some very skewed reports, the Trump administration has tried to disparage the good work that happens at Job Corps. But whatever they say, what we know is that there are lots and lots of very good outcomes that happen from Job Corps centers like this all across the country. And equally important, investments in young people can save enormous amounts of money, state money, local money, in the future. So even though there's a temporary hold on this center closing, there are already lots of consequences. Young people have already left the program, and employees here, they remain fearful about their future employment. Now, there are a number of folks who are here, and you'll get the chance to hear them. The county executive will speak shortly about the work underway to make sure that Job Corps disruptions don't leave some participants without a place to call home here in our community. I can report, though, that I've had the chance to connect with, speak with, and work with Employ Milwaukee to make sure that they're taking every reasonable step to make sure that dislocated workers and participants have the opportunity to get access to other job opportunities. Now, after the county executive has a chance to speak, I'll invite former Mayor Tom Barrett to share his long-standing support of Job Corps. In fact, this facility is here because many, many years ago, there was a former United States representative by the name of Tom Barrett who worked very hard, very diligently in order to make sure that Milwaukee was home to a Job Corps center. But first, I'm going to invite, again, County Executive Crowley to have some remarks. So, County Exec. Thank you, Barrett.
Well, good morning. Again, I am David Crowley, Milwaukee County Executive, and I really just want to get straight to the point this morning and be honest about what is happening here. We have 230 community members, 100 staff members, and 130 Job Corps program participants. Now, these aren't just numbers. These are real people whose lives were immediately put in jeopardy by sudden changes in how we fund Job Corps. And we know that there has been a pause to what is happening, but just to be clear, this isn't just some bureaucratic decision. This is a direct hit to the futures of countless of people right here in our own community and across the entire country. It's 130 young people working to build a life and gain skills, to become electricians, to become a welder, to become CNAs. It's 100 staff members who've dedicated themselves for helping those young people get to where they are. And now all of that is being torn away with no warning, no plan, no regard for the consequences. And let me be very clear, this does not make America skilled again. It makes our young people homeless. It makes families have to scramble. It makes our community weaker. And it sends a loud, clear message that these young people and their dreams, their efforts, and their lives, they don't even matter. In Milwaukee County, we are stepping up every single day for our community members through the best way that we know how, and that is through partnerships. Employ Milwaukee and JobWorks MKE have been instrumental thought partners throughout this process, standing ready to assess direct hire opportunities and connect displaced students to job training and employment pipelines. City on the Hill has opened up its dorm space while also providing direct hire opportunities and support services to those who have been impacted. UWM have also graciously offered up their dorm space for students who suddenly find themselves without a roof over their heads. And Pathfinders has been on the ground assessing needs and referring young people, some of who are still minors, still children, helping them find safe placements. And I have to thank our leaders at the Department of Health and Human Services and the Housing Division because they're coordinating with 211 and Pathfinders to provide some crisis support. And we've also held 10 spots in Milwaukee County's Child Youth Family Services, our youth employment program, to ensure that these young people can continue to have access to job opportunities even as they face this upheaval. Milwaukee County and our partners, we are committed to making sure that these young people do not fall through the cracks, and we will continue seeking funding for resources like bus passes and other supportive services they may need. But let's be real, we should not have to scramble like this. Not just within days' notice, and especially not within the federal funding to support the emergency that this has actually created in our community. So we're doing everything that we can to help our community because that's what leadership looks like. This is what partnership looks like. This is what it actually means to care for the health and well-being of our community. But we also expect the federal government to do its part as well. These young people deserve more than just a press release announcing that their futures have been canceled. Milwaukee County is here, we're fighting for our community, and we're not backing down. And I want to encourage everyone who is watching this program to join us in this fight until every person affected has the support they need and give the dignity that they absolutely deserve. And with that, I would like to bring up our former congressman and our former mayor here in Milwaukee, Mr. Tom Barrett.
Thank you very much, Mr. County Executive. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I applaud the leadership that all these individuals are showing to preserve, enhance, and strengthen this Job Corps Center. As the mayor mentioned, I worked on this project beginning in 1993. As a freshman member of Congress, I decided that we needed here in Milwaukee a Job Corps Center. It took 17 years. I refer to it as my 17-year overnight sensation, because when it finally opened, it really fulfilled a dream that I had to give young people in this community, in this state, a chance to succeed. This is about creating dreams for young people so that they can succeed in life. But it's not just dreams. This is not just a program for dreamers. This is a program to take young people and literally transform their lives. It's a pre-apprenticeship program. It gives them skills so they can leave here and get a job and support a family. So for all the noise we hear from President Trump and his followers about how bad programs are, federal programs are, this is a program that works. Does it have challenges? Absolutely yes. But there is not a program in the federal government, the state government, the county government, the city government that doesn't have challenges. There are not private companies that don't have challenges. But if there's a challenge, you meet the challenge. You do not destroy the future of young people. Closing Job Corps centers is the most cynical thing that President Trump can do. It is nothing but cynicism. It is saying to young people between 16 and 24, I don't care about you. President Trump is telling these young people he doesn't care about them. And the Republican members of Congress, the Republican senator in this state, have to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. We care about these young people. They deserve a future. They deserve our support. They deserve our training. They deserve a chance to get an education in a safe environment. Because if we don't do that, if we throw them away, then we're going to be swearing at each other about how problems have gotten worse. Let's meet the challenge and keep Job Corps Center open. That's what this is all about. Thank you.
Good morning. So I'm Alderwoman Larresa Taylor. I'm the Alderwoman for this great district. This is District 9, in which Job Corps sits. I want to say thank you to those who have all come out today. But I want to say thank you to Tom Barrett, because without this program, as a 17-year teacher, there were lots of students that I have had to refer to this program because sometimes an alternative to the traditional educational situation can be a great success. It could mean the difference between success and failure for them. And so thank you for bringing this program to our city and giving our students another chance to succeed. Job Corps is a vital part of our local economy, our workforce, and the future of our city. When our young people succeed, we all succeed. Since 2010, the Milwaukee Job Corps has served students ages 16 to 24, helping them to earn a high school diploma and a GED, or GED, and receive hands-on training in demand careers. Located on this 25-acre campus and operated by the Horizon Youth Services, this center has helped shape the future of thousands of young people. To date, Milwaukee Job Corps has supported over 1,300 graduates and provided training to more than 2,500 young adults who are now ready to enter the workforce and contribute to our community. That's why the news of this facility closure and similar closures across the country is so deeply shocking and disappointing. Well, let's be clear. Closing Job Corps doesn't fix problems, it creates more problems. If there are concerns around graduation rates, operational costs, and safety, then let's address those head on. Shutting down facilities that offer alternative educational programming doesn't solve anything. It strips away the opportunity. No single educational institution can meet every need. That's why alternative programs like Job Corps exist, to provide different paths to success for students who need it. These programs level the playing field and open doors that would otherwise remain shut. We often talk about our youth instead of with them. We say they need something productive to do, something that keeps them off the streets. Well, this is it. Job Corps is exactly that kind of solution we claim to be looking at or looking for. To close this facility and others like it is an injustice. It is unjust to the young people whose lives are being shaped here. It is unjust to the staff who have poured their time, their energy, and their hearts into serving this community. This isn't just a policy issue, it's personal. Behind this decision are real people. Mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, and young people, and families. All of them stand to lose, and instead of being met with support or problem solving, they've have been handed closure notices. We are grateful for the temporary restraining order that pauses this process until the hearing June 17th. But the looming possibility of closure still places young people at risk and threatens the livelihood of adults who have devoted themselves to public service. One worker recently told me they have gone from a two-income household to a no-income household because of this uncertainty. Since its founding in 1964, Job Corps has trained generations of young people in fields like healthcare, manufacturing, and skilled trades. It has helped young people find purpose, dignity, and financial stability. To close these doors now is to turn our backs on everything this program stood for. We must do everything in our power to keep the Milwaukee Job Corps open and to protect similar facilities across the country. The future of our youth, our workers, and our communities depend on it. Thank you. And now I'll bring up Marlon Page. Oh, okay.
Actually, before we hear from representatives from Job Corps, which I'm looking forward to do, want to invite State Representative Sequana Taylor to have a couple of words. We are also in her state representative district as well, so her assembly district. So, Representative Taylor.
Thank you. I wanted to say good morning, and I often think about a quote that says, "How are the children?" And if they are doing well and we are prospering, you say the children are well. Well, today, if I would say, how are the children, the response wouldn't be the children are well. And I know we're talking about Job Corps, so it's 16 to 24, and I call everybody babies, right? But this is a detriment not only to the youth, but to our community and to our employees. I want to share a story of two people who went through Job Corps. One young man is called Josh. He travels all over the world now, teaching other youth about apprenticeship, how to make better choices. The reason why I mention him is because he put a post up on social media, and he's from Milwaukee. I know him very well. And he talked about how Job Corps changed his life. He's alive today because of Job Corps, because he was going in the wrong direction. But he found a place that he can call home, but he also found the place that gave him a second chance at life, and it was Job Corps. The other person, her name is Teresa. Teresa had been in and out of foster care her whole life. She was able to come to Job Corps because she had nowhere else to go. She had no one else to go to. She was able to come here, graduate, get a job, and start a family. So when we're talking about closing an institution that have given people a second chance at life, that have given them hope, that have given them a place that they now call home, we're doing a detriment to our community. And that means the children and the young adults are not well. And we know there is a temporary pause happening now, but that's temporary. So we need to continue to keep advocating that they continue to open these doors, not just in Milwaukee, but around the United States. Because I don't want another Josh that needed to find a place to redeem himself to be back on the street and not have nowhere to go. I don't want to find another Teresa who has no one else in her life and was in and out of foster care, now placed back on the streets. Because you know what happens when people don't have a place to go, when they don't have a sense of stability? Poverty happens. Poverty leads to things that can be criminalization, that can be mental health, that can be very detrimental, not just to them mentally, but to them physically. And then we can see the spread of that in our community. And so if we want to say, what are our young people doing? If we're not giving them opportunities and options, then we are doing a disservice to our community. I often hear people say, as an educator, I worked in MPS almost 20 years, that the children are our future. But if we're not presently pouring into them, if we're not presently giving them a platform to better themselves, then what are we doing to our future? So if we want to continue to keep going and we want a future that's prosperity, we want economical drive, we want people to have jobs, we want people to buy houses, we want people to start families, and we want people to stay in Milwaukee, let alone Wisconsin, we need to continue to have places like Job Corps so that they can be successful. So anyone that's watching today, I want you to think, if it was your child that was Josh, or maybe your nephew or your cousin, or Teresa that didn't have a family and you tried so much to help her, then understand that we need Job Corps, and we need places like Job Corps. And I thank the mayor, the county executive, and the alderwoman for allowing us this space here today. But today isn't the begin all to everything. It needs to be at the federal government to know that the temporary pause has to be lifted, but we need to continue to support and fund Job Corps, because if they say home is where the heart is, for a lot of our individuals, Job Corps is their home, and that is the heart. So thank you for coming out here today.
Thank you so much, Representative, for those powerful examples of what Job Corps has meant to people right here in Milwaukee. I'm going to have Marlon Page from Job Corps to have some remarks next. But first, before I do that, I just want to recognize the fact that Alderwoman Charlotte Moore from the 10th District is joining us as well. So thank you so much for joining us, Alderwoman. And with that, Marlon, I'm going to invite you up to the mic.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you to the mayor for allowing us to have this platform to talk about our beautiful program. I've been a part of Job Corps for 10 years. I have seen the ups, I've seen the highs and lows, but this is what I see every day. Every Monday and Tuesday, I see young people come to this program, low education levels, low literacy levels, low numeracy levels, lacking social skills, lacking employability skills. Every single day, they come to this program coming from impoverished areas. And what we do is that we take these vulnerable people, we give them social skills training, we give them employability skills training, we help them with whatever aorta issues that they may have. We also assist them with their mental health issues that they may have as well. This allows the individual to become employable. When they can read, when they can spell, when they can communicate effectively, we're building individuals that can now sustain employment. And that's what this program is all about. We take the vulnerable, we build them up, and now they're positive contributors to their society. This is what keeps the crime rates low. This is what builds houses and futures. This builds our real estate. This takes our city to another level when we're building young people up instead of keeping them down. And I've watched this program for 10 years, but I can only talk so much. And so I do want to give you a live example, a free example of what the program does. 10 years ago, when I was a residential advisor here, I was a residential advisor on the women's dorm. And I met a young lady, Brittany Collins. Very good student. Did everything that we asked her to do. She improved her literacy skills. She improved her numeracy skills. She left here as a CNA trade, did well in the trade, went to the Army, went to the military, and now she's doing very well. But the beauty part about this young lady is that she's now a senior member of our leadership team here. So I want to bring up Chio Basi to give you a full example of how this program works.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. 10 years ago, when I came to this program, I was lost, like I see in a lot of these students that come here today. A lot of our students are coming here because they're looking for hope, they're looking for opportunity, they're looking for something different than what they grew up with, something different than what they've been shown, something different than what they've been told, and they want to do better. They want to work on themselves. They want opportunities, and they come here because that's what Job Corps gives them. Job Corps gave me an opportunity. When I came here, I was lost. I was broken. I was looking for a place where I could better myself, where I could do better. And Job Corps stands for all of those things. To tell these students that they no longer have a chance or an opportunity is outrageous. It's an injustice. How can we look our youth in the eye and tell them that we want them to do better, that we want them to succeed, that we want them to have opportunities, and then take away an opportunity as amazing as Job Corps? It's not right. I see so much of myself in so many of these students. Every day I come through these doors and I say, this is somebody that could be like me. And success is not the outlier at Job Corps. I am one of hundreds of thousands. There are many success stories at Job Corps, and they prove that this program works and this program is needed. And so I want to implore you today to help keep Job Corps running, help keep Job Corps going, and continue to give opportunities to our youth because they deserve it and they need it. Thank you.
Again, another just powerful, powerful testimony of somebody right here, literally right here in Milwaukee, who over the course of the last decade has benefited from this center. That's just one of many, many stories, not just here, but at Job Corps centers all across the United States. And so our ask here is to make sure that this Job Corps Center remains open so that more young people can continue to be served, and not just this Job Corps Center, but centers like it all across the United States. And with that, we're happy to take a couple of questions.
So you said you want to keep this Job Corps open. What are things that maybe people can do at home to try to help that?
People can advocate. People can advocate. They can reach out to their federal elected officials to let them know about the stories that they heard in your stories here, and talk about how important Job Corps is to Milwaukee, and not even just to the city of Milwaukee, but for the people who have participated in these programs over time. So reach out to Representative Gwen Moore, reach out to Senator Tammy Baldwin, reach out to Senator Ron Johnson, reach out to other representatives, United States representatives across the state, and let them know how important it is to keep these centers open, not just here in Milwaukee, but across the country.
Has there been any communication between any of your offices and the federal government on this job center?
And we continue to make our voices heard, just like we're doing right now, about the importance of keeping these centers open. Certainly we don't want to see them closed. I think that across the country you've probably seen mayors and other elected officials from other levels of government, county executives, state representatives, and the like, who have reached out to their federal elected officials, like I'm imploring folks to do here today, to make sure that Job Corps centers stay open.
So you have reached out to like Department of Labor and stuff?
Yeah, we continue to reach out to our partners all across the local government, putting that pressure on higher levels of government, and the federal government particularly, to make sure that this center stays open, and others.
Say June 17th, you don't get the
Yeah, I mean that's why we're coordinating. The city is along with the county to make sure that whether it's young people who are participating in these programs that they find some other opportunity, whether it's workers here, the over 100 people who work at Job Corps, that they have other opportunities to find work locally too. So naturally our first inclination is to work to make sure that this place stays open and services continue to be delivered. But if that does not happen, then we all are working presently to make sure that folks have the opportunity. I don't want to see if the county executive has anything he wants to add to that.
Well, thank you, Mayor. And the only thing I would add is that it is unfortunate that we have to think about finding a permanent solution to closing down job centers that help to educate and upskill our young people in this community. But what we can do is we can support the organizations who have been coming to the table. We've mentioned organizations like UWM, Pathfinders, Employ Milwaukee, Jobs MKE. If you want to support not only the young people who are going through programs like this, but as well as the staff, it's about how do we give our time, talent, and treasure to the partnerships that we are creating to make sure that we can fill the void when things are being pulled, the rug is being pulled out from under us, particularly by the federal government.
My question is for those who work directly inside of Job Corps who spoke. The Department of Labor, as some of our elected officials addressed, cited things like low graduation rates, sexual assaults inside of the facility. Can you describe yourself some of those things that have happened and any stance on what they've had to say in the findings of their report?
I think our stats speak for themselves. I think our graduation rates speak for themselves. I think 1,500 high school diplomas since 2010 speaks for itself. I think 2,500 trade completers speaks for itself. I think there's issues on every school, every campus, and we all handle them accordingly. So this place is no different than any other place that's here. There's issues, but we resolve it.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.